Welcome to Fast Track Gains. I'm here to help you accelerate your gains. This is the fifth and final episode of my seventh series, bulking. As we have discussed different types of bulking, different reasons for bulking, who should bulk, and when to bulk. You should have a fairly good general idea of how to bulk by now. However, like I said at the very beginning of the series, as bulking has a close association with being overweight, and there's much more nuance in bulking compared to relatively straightforward fat loss. You need to have enough fitness knowledge reserve in order to plan your bulking in a much more thoughtful way. And that's why in this episode, I'm going to use a lot of my previous videos as a reference, so not only you can avoid the common mistakes of bulking, but also being aware of other particular issues that are only going to occur during bulking. Point number one, weekly cardio volume. One thing that people constantly downplay in a fitness program is cardio training. Most people, even fitness fanatics, fail to meet the minimum weekly cardio training volume, 150 minutes, recommended by the exercise guidelines. And the situation gets even worse when it comes to bulking. A lot of gym bros would simply ditch cardio training altogether for the sake of conserving more energies. This is not an intelligent approach. High cardiovascular fitness is absolutely essential for making more gains because it helps you recover much faster. In fact, I call it the golden key to enhanced recovery, or as Dr. Andy Galpin said, get fit first, and then you can actually get more gains.
We sort of joke, like if you're so unfit that you're tying your shoes in your warm up and you're already breaking a sweat, you probably don't have enough fitness to do enough training to get enough hypertrophy. So that is in fact your limiting factor. You're not recovering. You're super fatigued and damaged and sore because you're so unfit. So get fit first, and then you can actually get more gains.
Therefore, even if you want to quote unquote conserve energies during your bulk, I will still recommend that you do at least 90 minutes of dedicated weekly cardio as a bare minimum to maintain your cardiovascular fitness. In fact, I would strongly recommend that you do more than that when you're bulking, because point number two, being jacked is even more taxing to your heart than being obese. This is one thing that most fitness fanatics are completely oblivious to, yet the most salient issue that they have to be aware of. And nobody explains better than Christian Dabadao on Elite FTS Table Talk.
Normally, you cannot hope to maintain maximum amount of muscle as you're getting older because muscle is a metabolically costly tissue. And it also puts strain on the heart. And that's something that people don't realize. People like to make fun of the body mass index, the BMI, right? And it's stupid. I mean, you cannot use that as a body composition tool. But that's not why it was developed. It was developed by actuaries to quickly evaluate the risk that you're going to die soon. So for insurance companies, without having to do all kind of invasive tests, they needed a way to figure out what's your life expectancy. So they found that the higher your BMR is, the less likely you are to have a long life. And that's actually true, regardless of if the mass is muscle or fat. If anything, muscle requires more cardiovascular support because it's active tissue. You need to send oxygen to the muscles. You need to send blood to the muscle. The bigger the muscle mass you have, the harder your heart works every single day. And as you mentioned earlier, the more oxygen you're using. So the most oxidative stress you're producing. All of that is not conducive to longevity. I'm not telling you to become a road cyclist, but certainly trying to strive to constantly get bigger when you're in the 50s and 60s, that might not be the best thing to do, okay? Unless you are willing to invest a lot of time in improving cardiovascular capacity.
Yes.
I believe that, and that's important, okay? If you want to stay big as you get older, you want to build more muscle and be healthy as you're getting older, get your fucking cardio done. because the stronger your cardiovascular system is, the less stressful carrying that muscle becomes. And so that would be one reason to actually up the cardio as you're getting older, to be allowed to have more muscle mass.
That's the reason why, if you want to get jacked by bulking, you need to dramatically increase your cardiovascular fitness so your heart can handle all the extra muscle mass. And how do you increase your cardiovascular fitness? By doing more cardio. Point number 3, reducing common inflammation. Chronic inflammation is not only causing pains, it is also costing you gains. If you want to know more about the reason why, please refer to my previous video, Why Fish Oil is So Anabolic. But for now, suffice to say that this is the main reason why I'm against dirty bulking and why you need to stay away from the 3 evils: added sugar, seed oils, and grains. Point number 4, reducing uncommon inflammation. The dose makes the poison, and during bulking, some ingredients that seemed completely benign previously may turn malevolent if the individual's tolerance threshold has been exceeded. Chief amongst them all are gluten and lactose. Please refer to my previous video, My Beef with Bread and Milk, if you want to know more in detail. For now, if you are bulking, you have to be extra selective of all the ingredients in your food to avoid inflammation by increased volume. Point number 5, the importance of micronutrients. It feels like I'm dishing out all my old videos, but I'm doing it for a very good reason. Otherwise, this video is going to last for a few hours long if I have to explain everything in this video. When it comes to bulking, adding more calories is indeed important, but what is even more important than adding calories is adding more micronutrients. And if you want to know which foods are most micronutrient dense, please refer to my previous video, Top 3 Foods You Must Include to Get Big. Point number 6, increase your protein intake. While 1 gram per pound of body weight works very well as a standard recommendation, it does not work very well with people that are bulking, especially for those that try to break their generic ceiling height. As the body requires protein for more than just muscle growth, and the law of diminishing returns starts to kick in during your bulking, you will need to dramatically increase your daily protein intake to 1.5 grams per pound of body weight, or even 2 grams per pound of body weight in order to continue your muscle growth. This is significantly higher than the standard recommendation. But if you want to build more size, you need more protein. There's just no other way around it. Point number 7, high carbs before high fat. Although fat is the most caloric dense macronutrient, and adding more fat seems to be the easiest way to increase the calories, in reality, you're going to find that almost all bulking diets will start from increasing the calories by increasing carbohydrates first. And the reason for this is multifold. Number 1, as carbohydrates will be stored as glycogen in the muscle, and glycogen is the main fuel for weight training. It makes more sense to add more carbs when bulking so you have more fuel for training. Number 2, the hydration and the pump effect. As glycogen contains water, more carbs will retain more water in the body and makes the pump even more pronounced during training, therefore further enhancing your weight training quality. Number 3, it is harder for the body to store extra carbs as body fat. What de novo lipogenesis, meaning making new fat, is a real metabolic process that can happen when the body has more carbohydrates than it needs for immediate energy. What the low-carb tribe would not tell you is that this is an energetically expensive process, whereas in comparison, it costs the body virtually no energy to store dietary fat as body fat, and it is much easier for you to gain body fat by eating more dietary fat. And obviously, when you're bulking, you want to minimize your body fat gain. Because of all the reasons above, as long as your digestive system can tolerate the abuse, high carbs will always be the choice to drive up your calories than high fat. Point number 8, Choose all your fats wisely. If you're really determined to push the envelope, then it will come a time that you have to turn to dietary fat as the last resort to increase your calories, because extra bulk volume brought by the fiber content in carbs will eventually exceed your stomach capacity. But even then, I will still caution you only get your extra fats from quality sources like olives, salmon, and eggs, not from butter and fatty meat cuts. In fact, dietary fats should at all times receive the highest level of scrutiny from you. And if you want to know the reason why, you can refer to my previous video, 7 Nutrients. Alright, that officially wraps up the series of the most taboo topic in the mainstream fitness culture. And let me tell you this with 100% confidence. Bulking is here to stay. It will never fade away. Don't be fooled by the hearsay. We can do it in a very thoughtful way. I hope you have learned a thing or two from this series. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I will be happy to answer all your questions. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.